Hey, this is Matt and welcome back to the channel, guys and girls, because in this video I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts on a hair transplant of a female model and what are the things that women should pay attention to before undergoing a cosmetic procedure, surgical procedure like a hair transplant. So let's start with the video.
This video is brought to you by GoFiber Hair Building Fibers. Pick up your free sample and get instant hair confidence. Start your transformation today.
Hey, welcome back once again. You are watching my hair loss and hair transplant related channel, which is all about stopping our hair loss, getting our hair back, and hair transplant. So if you are new to this channel, there are two things you should do. Number one, join my hair transplant group on Facebook, which is for free. It's called Hair Transplant Experiences. The link is down there in the description below. And check out my website, mattdominance.com, with new, fresh articles being published every month on topics of hair loss and hair transplants. And you can also check out my free ebook 5 things I wished I had known before my hair transplant. I have already done several hair transplants. You can learn from my mistakes and mistakes of other guys that I'm communicating with on a daily basis. Now, before I share with you my comments on Yureni Noshika's before and after results after her hair transplant, I think this is something we will see more of in the hair transplant industry, that younger women, not just in their early 30s, but also already in their 20s maybe, start, being more insecure about their, hair loss, or especially hairline being maybe too high, or the temples being too far, because they kind of compare themselves to their Barbie doll, whatever type of ideal, or some girls on Instagram who have really baby faces with a very tight hairline, framed very tight all over their forehead. And many girls probably compare themselves to these women ideals, and that's how they end up thinking about forehead reduction or hair restoration, and many things that can also make their appearance very close to the appearance of these girls on social media. Now, let's come back to our case of Yureni Noshika, and I hope I pronounced her name properly. And we can see that her facial third ratio has been disrupted a little bit. And the facial third rule is the most basic rule, which can tell the plastic surgeon and also the hair transplant doctor whether your facial thirds are disrupted. It starts with the trachea, which is this point. This is the glabella, this is the subnasal, and this is the menton. And all these three areas, all these three thirds should be in balance. Here we can see that her upper third, the one from glabella to the trachea, is disproportionately larger compared to the other thirds, and this is something which can make a person insecure, not just because of the imbalance, but because of the large forehead, which is oftentimes connected with aging, not feeling as attracted, as desirable as a woman, but also as a man. And that's what causes the psychological distress which male pattern hair loss and female pattern hair loss is known for. Okay, so what she decided to do, she decided to contact a clinic in Sri Lanka, where she's from, and the clinic is doing DHI hair transplants only. DHI hair transplant is usually FUE hair transplant, follicular unit extraction. That's how they extract the hair follicles first, one by one, with a punch, which could be automated or manual. And then they will implant these hair follicles on the balding areas with the implanter pen. And that's why it's called DHI. Usually that's the hair transplant where the implanter pen is utilized. So that's what she did. And she got 2,000 hair follicles implanted, and this is already something what a good Norwood 2 on a male hair loss scale, which is the Norwood-Hamilton scale. That's something what a Norwood 2 would probably get if he would want to have his hairline lowered a little bit, dense packed, and also if he would want to have something done on his temples as well. Because if we take a look here, she not only got her hairline lower at least 2 centimeters from what I see see, maybe 2 to 3 centimeters. And also her temples got narrowed a little bit. So she went from this bell looking hairline, narrow bell looking shape, to this more like narrow rounded shape. So now let's take a look at her 1 year result and let's see what she has to say about that.
දැන්ට මම දන්නවා මම මීට අවුරුදකට කලින් hair implant එකක් කරා DH එකට. ඇවිල්ලා ඉතින් අද අවුරුදකට පස්සේ.
Okay, I don't understand what she's saying, but she seems to be happy from her appearance, from her emotions.
Then හරි සතුටින් ඉන්නවා because I feel more confident now.
Okay, she feels more confident, so that helped with her confidence, so that's good.
Because of the big forehead I had.
Yeah, so she mentions this big forehead issue, which I thought that was the main issue or one of the main issues.
දැන් මට ඕන විදියකට even a high ponytail.
Okay. See, so she wants to do these high ponytails without like being kind of insecure about, you know, having like high forehead. This is probably the best hairstyle which can uncover like imperfections which maybe are or aren't in the hairline. Like the usual imperfection with female hair transplants is that the hair follicles, the newly planted hair follicles, are either planted in a very regular kind of spacing and very regular pattern, which our human eye naturally will kind of detect, and it will spot it and it will start wondering like, what is that? Is it something with your hairline? It's just not natural. I don't see that in her hairline, to be honest, at least not from this video, from this angle and by this lighting conditions. Another thing which is also very noticeable and it can detect a transplanted hairline very easily would be placement of rather robust looking follicles in the hairline. So what you want to do at all cost, you want to avoid having multiple hair units or multiple grafts implanted in the frontal hairline, no matter if you are a guy or a girl. But if you are a woman especially, it's so crucial not to have these double grafts or these thicker looking, robust looking hair units implanted in the frontal hairline, because this will unfortunately pretty much like destroy this very soft looking hairline, the feminine looking hairline with these soft looking hairs, you know, it's just going to be impossible to create that. Here is an interesting photo of her hairline after her hair transplant. I don't know how many months it has been, but the hair is already quite long, so I assume it's already more than a year. And although it's not like super obvious, probably not obvious at all that she had a hair transplant to you, but to me, I see some more obvious areas on the right side. It just looks more robust in this area here, which you can see here. On the left side, it looks rather good, but on the right side, I see some more robust or thicker looking grafts which are implanted in the front of the hairline, and they are kind of creating this thicker strands of hair. And it's obviously like always most visible when she does the slick back look or when she does any type of the ponytail, which kind of puts a lot of strain on the hair strands at the hairline and uncovers them. If I look at it from here, guys and girls, I only see prevalently single grafts, in fact, in this area, the right portion of her hairline. So this is pretty fine to me. I think the density is good, the hair looks natural, it has a natural direction, and we can see it on photos when she just naturally lets her hair like fall to the side or back, and we see that it's not like sticking out or anything like that. But the one thing which could have been done better, in my opinion, would be the amount of single grafts in the hairline, which is lacking in my opinion and could have been increased, because that would make it look a bit less zigzaggy in my opinion. It's only obvious on some photos, on other photos it looks rather natural. For example, here from the side it just seems much more natural to me. All in all, I would conclude that this hair transplant went decent. She obviously chose the FUE method or the DHI method, which utilizes the follicular unit extraction, which requires like shaving your donor area, pretty much the whole back and partially the sides even, based on how many grafts you will need. And this can be pretty bad for some women because as a woman you probably don't want to have your whole back like shaved very short, and by that I mean like 0 millimeter. Okay, so be aware of that if you are choosing FUE. And then it will take some time for these hair to grow back. So obviously it will be less invasive in terms of, you know, scarring, but some scarring will be there because even the little punches will leave some scars, the rounded scars. Unlike FUT, which is creating the linear scar, that's the strip surgery, that's the excision, where the doctor will only shave a very small portion of the donor area, the part of the donor area with the most permanent hair follicles in it, and the doctor will extract that while leaving the hair long on all of these areas. So actually for women it makes much more sense to get FUT hair transplant. Okay, yes, there will be a scar, but as a woman you rarely shave your bag and sides, so nobody will ever see it probably over the course of your life. FUT has many advantages as well compared to FUE, and actually the reason why many guys still, you know, opt for FUE nowadays is the biggest reason is like having the scar or having to live with a permanent scar on the donor area. But this is usually only because, guys, we want to have a short side, short back, and that's why it is scaring us. But as a girl, if you want to have your hair long, and I assume you want, then there is no need to obsess about FUE that much, because you can get FUT. It's usually cheaper as well, and it provides these very single hairs usually, because again the FUT clinics or FUT providers have to have microscopes, stereo microscopes in their practice, otherwise they will not be able to do FUT. And what these stereo microscopes allow them, they allow them to dissect these grafts from the strip, the hair follicles, very well, and they can make them really fine, and this will assure a really natural result as long as the doctor can successfully, you know, do the other steps like creating natural incisions and do the proper placing. But that's another thing. But this is already a good thing for the natural look, okay? Not even talking about things like lower transaction rate, which is on average lower with the FUT compared to the FUE. Okay, so that's another little win that you get as a woman, especially if you have curly hair, afro hair. You gotta go with FUT almost like 100% of the time because it's the best option in such case. I'm not gonna discuss it in this video, but you can check out my recent videos I made on FUE, FUT versus DHI, where I was actually comparing all of these methods, and this video has 2 parts, so make sure you check it out if you are interested. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you give this video a like, follow me on Instagram, check out my website mattdominance.com, where you can not only get my free ebook, but also a bunch of hair transplant guides, useful information on how to research your hair transplant clinic properly, how to find the best hair transplant doctor in Turkey, many good options in Turkey, also hair transplant doctor collection worldwide in 24 countries, or you can even sign up for a one-on-one call with me where I'm going to pretty much assist you throughout your hair transplant research, evaluate different quotes from your hair transplant doctors or clinics you have contacted, and share with you my opinion on your situation. So that's pretty much what you can benefit from. And on top of that, obviously, even the free Facebook group Hair Transplant Experiences, to which you can sign up right now. The link is in the description box below. So that was it again for this video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.